Hey guys, Gamer James here. Thank you very much for clicking play. Well, as you can tell from the screen behind me, if you've hidden under a rock for the last 24 hours or so, Football Manager 2018 officially exists. Shocker. Yeah, SI announced it yesterday as I record this, August the 15th. They announced the release date, the kind of a beta date, and then details of their special offer. So all this video is going to be is just a little bit of a reaction to that, and then maybe just a few little adjustments, improvements, enhancements, additions that I quite like to see in the upcoming game. So let's get straight to it. So here we are on the Steam page for Football Manager 2018. It is available to pre-order. If we scroll down, they are doing the special offer. You may remember last year they did, was it 5% for each version of the game you'd owned back 4 years, I think it was. This time it's basically a case of, if you own Football Manager 2017 in your Steam library, you get 25% off this year's version. So it goes down from $37.99 to $28.49 with the discount, which at the end of the day, they don't have to do it. It's fantastic that they do. It's a little reward. It's a little thing to say thank you to the community. Thank you for the support. And, you know, it is brilliant. Straight off the bat, you get yourselves, what is it, $9.50 off it? I can't really argue with that, can you? The great news is, this video is out, as I say, on the 16th of August. You have until 6 o'clock British time on the 17th of August to get FM17 at 80% off. I think that takes it down to about £8. And if you do that before, you will get the 25% off the new game as well. So if you're watching this before that deal runs out, then get along there and get it, because at £8 you could still plunge 100 hours into the game before 18 comes out, and you would get your money's worth many times over. One thing that has cropped up that I have noticed, I saw it online before, is the system requirements. It says you need 7 gigabytes for Football Manager 2018. Now, why is that important? Well, Football Manager 2017 only needed 3. So this needs more than double the storage on your machine. Now, what could they be adding that takes up an extra 4 gig? Right, so let's talk features then for the game. You can see here I'm on my training screen in my current YouTube series with Inter Milan. This is basically it. You have your overview, you have your individual training, you have your coach assignments, and this is basically your overview of the team training. This is where you decide what they're going to do for the coming 4 weeks at a time. You've kind of got to remember to keep going in and changing it and doing what you need to do and adjusting rest days and things like that. But this is basically it, and it's been like this pretty much for the last, well, certainly the last few versions of the game. Now, a lot of people on the forums, a lot of people online have been saying they want the training revamped, they want it a lot more detailed. I've even seen people saying they actually want the 3D match engine to be involved in training, so you can go in and do your drills, set up your corner routines, and actually watch the players practice these routines to see if they work, to see if they're going to go, if they're going to go well in a match. Because obviously at the minute, all you do is you go into a 2D screen and you drag where you want your players, and then you've got to wait until you get a corner in a match to see if it actually works. So I can understand why people would want the training to be a lot more involved and a lot more detailed. When you take over a club, certainly the first thing I do, as well as assess the squad, is I go through the staff and I get the staff, the backroom staff, as good as possible for the budget that I have, depending on what club I'm at, what level I'm at. If possible, I will get the best in the league on all fronts of the staff, on the coaching, on the scouting, and on the medical side. Um, but it doesn't seem to have much of a point at the minute because you don't really see what's happening with it. Whereas if you can go in and do training and you can set up a free kick routine, a corner routine, and you can watch your attackers or maybe your first team practice it against your reserves or something like that, and you can actually see if it's got any potential, then I do agree. I think that would be a fantastic addition. Don't forget, as I just said, you need double the storage and then some for this year's game. That can't just be graphical updates. That can't just be a database update. There's got to be something substantial to need that extra 4 gig, and it could very well be something like 3D modeling on your training ground. Because of course, if you then request your training ground to be improved, if you when you went into doing your training drills, you'd probably see the construction going on while you were there and things like that. And I do think it would be a brilliant addition. It would make the game an awful lot more involved. It would make your backroom work a lot longer. If you decided to be involved in the training side of things, of course, you could just leave it to your assistant like you can now. But yeah, the more I think about it, the more I get on board with making training more involved for sure. At first, wasn't really feeling it, but yeah, do you know what? I think it could be a big addition. The problem you would have is if they do go down that line of the 3D, that much of a change, it could have teething problems to begin with, and it could take 2 or 3 versions of the game or 2 or 3 updates to actually get it working perfectly. But you've got to do it sometime, surely. The next thing that I want to see addressed, and is a really big one for me, is the transfers. You can see here, this is in my save as well. This is a new gen in my save. Andre Rodriguez, goalkeeper from Bologna, really highly rated goalkeeper, valued at 105,000. So I go in and I ask them what they want for him. 103 million. Not just that, they want 40% profit from the next 40% of the profit from the next sale for a player that's valued at 105,000. Now that is one of the big problems in the game for me, is that clubs just ask exorbitant amounts of money for a new gen player that hasn't even played a game for the first team. I was hoping to find a pretty decent one. That was the best one I could have ever hoped for. £105,000 value. They want 103 million and 40% of the profit from the next sale. It's just ridiculous. And then from the other point of view, I'm at Inter Milan now, 6-7 seasons into the save. We still have Mauro Icardi. Now, we spent the summer with a couple of clubs after him. One of them was Real Madrid. Now, he's valued at around about 35 million. And we got an offer in from Real Madrid. Now, in real life, a player like Mauro Icardi, if he was ever to leave Inter Milan, would cost 70, 80, 90, 100 million in today's market. He would cost tens and tens of millions of euros. What did Real Madrid do? They made a non-negotiable offer of about 25 million, I think. And the player, it's down here, when you make an offer, you can see it'll say in red, the player's agent indicates that he wants to discuss terms. And it said that, and it's a non-negotiable offer. It's 10 million below what he's worth. It wasn't even a lump sum. It's something like 18 million with add-ons. It was derisory. I rejected it. He came to me. He said he wants to leave if they come in with a decent offer. I say I don't want to sell you and he's adamant that he wants to go if the offer comes in. So we try and negotiate what we think will be a fair price. And in the end, I think we agreed somewhere around 42 million for a player who's valued at 35, that should be going for a lot more than that. And that to me is just it's just not on. That needs addressing. It needs to be a little bit more crazy. I've never had an offer of like 100 and 120 million for one of my star players, but that's the sort of thing that needs to be happening now. The AI, the computer control clubs need to be making proper offers for your players and not asking stupid amounts for a 16-year-old. So while training and transfers are the big bugbears of mine at the minute, the other perennial pet hate in the game is the press conferences. Oh my God, they're a chore. They are a chore. After about half an hour of playing the game, you just desperately don't want to do them anymore. But I'm one of those managers. I don't like sending my assistant to press conferences. I do them all myself, but my God, are they annoying? Are they repetitive? They are just the same old question. A lot of the time, they're not even relevant. If you do a save where you move clubs and you take over, like I have done in my save, I've moved from Bayer Leverkusen to Olympique Marseille, now with FC Internazionale. And when you move a club, it will act as if you've always been in charge of that club. So it will say, are you treating this match as a grudge match, given the opponent's, the opposing manager's comments about you in the build-up to the last match, or the last match at San Siro between yourselves and AC Milan ended 2-2. Do you think you can go out and win the game this time, and things like that? And it's like, you're referencing something that happened before I took the job. So press conferences, they need to be more inventive. They need to be more creative. They need to have a bigger pool of questions, not just the 10, 15, 20 that they've got now on constant rotation. They need to be more relevant. They need to be more intelligent. It needs to recognise that you've only been in charge since this date, and not to ask you stupid questions about an argument that you never had with the manager of the opposition. I don't have a grudge against a manager that I've not faced. Whatever happened between that manager and the manager that managed this club before me, I don't care about that. Don't ask me if I still hold a grudge when I wasn't there in the first place. Similarly, player interactions, that whole side of things as well is just repetitive and boring, and could do with being revamped. The tunnel interview as well. Oh my God, either scrap it or do something with it, because my God, I want to pull my hair out of those. Some of those, when you're playing a rival, when you're playing a big match, when you're playing a cup final, the tunnel interviews are longer than the pre-match interview, and I just want to get to the match. Stop asking me stupid questions. I'm in the tunnel. Why are you doing this? So yeah, sort out the player interactions, sort out the interviews, address the transfers, address the training. Maybe do the 3D drills. That would be excellent. Of course, we're now only 10 weeks from the game coming out, 10, 11 weeks, something like that. So whatever I'm saying here is largely irrelevant, because I'm sure whatever new features are going into the game, whatever new graphical updates, anything new that's going into the game is already in there. All it's doing now is it's going through testing phases and things like that, ready for the beta, ready for the closed beta for the testers, and then the beta for the pre-orders. So what this video, pretty much pointless really. Whatever I'm saying here, it's not going to have an influence, is it? Let's face it. But yeah, that was just my thoughts on the game. No surprise it's been announced. I'm delighted that it's coming. I cannot wait now. Hopefully people will get back into FM a little bit. I know over the summer people kind of go away a little bit from FM17. It's understandable, but with the football season starting again and with FM18 now on the horizon, hopefully more people will get back into FM17 again. If you haven't got FM17 yet, it's now £8 for the next 30 hours or so. Get along there and pick it up, and then you'll get your 25% off the off FM18 as well. One little thing on that discount, on that 25%, it's, as I said at the beginning, it's not something that SI need to do. They can just charge the full price and people will buy the game. But God forbid them if they ever stop doing the discount, because they are going to face a backlash if next year they don't have a discount. So yeah, bear that in mind, SI. You've made a rod for your own back over these last two versions of the game. Maybe in future, just make the game cheaper. Just bring it under £30. there you go. Everyone gets a discount whether they've had it before or not. It's 38 quid full price this year. Just make it 30 quid from now on. Then you don't have to make up these fake discounts, do you? But I for one will be pre-ordering. Hope you are too. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do so. I've got 5 seasons in the bank with Olympique Marseille. There's almost a full season with Leverkusen before that. We're about to embark on intermission with FC Inter Milan. So I would love you to subscribe, and yeah, you can watch how we do in Serie A. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this. If there's anything you want added in, if you agree, if you disagree with what I've said, if you can think of something that I haven't thought of, then drop a comment. Let me know what you would like to see. Are you going to get it? I know a lot of people think 17 was basically a database update. I think FM18 is going to be a big change. I really do. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're getting a game. I love reading your comments. I reply to them all. Subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned. Intermission episode 1 is coming very soon. Cheers for watching. Goodbye.